All right, so the other day I was talking to this player who is a friend of a friend, and he's asking me what I do, and I said I went to poker school, and I did Beyond Tells and psychology, and give him the whole my overview of my life and how it relates to poker. And in the middle of the conversation, we start talking, and the guy says something to me like, he's like, yeah, I've always been really good at poker, and I'm like, oh, so like, what's your performance, blah 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 blah. And the guy doesn't have any experience whatsoever, has no reason or claim to validate that he's good at poker. Somewhere along the run, he might have done okay in a couple of cash games or whatever, so he thinks he's good at poker. So I was like, oh, what have you done to work on your game? What have you done to improve? How have you, and I asked that question. He goes, nothing. I'm just an intuitively feel-based player, right? And he goes, I just have feelings. And I was like, all right. So I was like, okay. So like you have not done any work. Like I was like, do you know what like pot odds are? And he kind of knew. He was like, oh yeah, pot odds are like the ratio to. And I was like, do you know like I started asking him all these questions, like the concept of equity and blah blah blah. And the guy had no idea about any of these things, and he was convinced that he's a feel-based player. And I really dislike the notion of being like a something kind of player. I think it's very limiting. So I've heard people say things like, I am a math-based player. Like, what does that mean? Like, math is at the foundation of pretty much every decision at the table. There are some people that could think at a higher capacity for math. They're more likely to break down ranges into actual percentages and see how they're, see how much value they're getting, or do I don't know, like as post-game assessments on how profitable a play was. Like, what does that mean that you're math-based? And usually the people that say that they're math-based, it's kind of like this excuse or this hedge that I don't need to work on anything else. Because I'm a math-based player. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I was talking to someone else, talking to another player who was saying like, oh, I don't need tells, or I don't need to pay attention to behavior, or I don't need to do any of these other things that is essential because I'm such a good math-based player. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how do you even say that? And poker is not this, it's not this one thing. Like, yes, there is a lot of math in this game, and you could approach it from a mindset that's rich with numbers and rich with analysis, but it's not just math. It's math, it's strategy, it's understanding different dynamics, it's all these different facets. And whenever you say you're a X-based kind of player, you pigeonhole yourself into this style or into this way of thinking that it's just it's not good. About it. Oh yeah, schoolcars.com/signup as always.